Very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Herman Sokini. I'm glad that you're here with us. I'm here with the Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you?
I'm good. Yes.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has actually spoke, and it's like he's actually rattled a number of leaders across the country. He's telling the young people to come out because they're the only ones who can actually save the country. Let's have this conversation. How do you think the former president, would be influential with regards to shaping the next general elections?
You see, you can answer yourself, and the question would be, is Uhuru just another boy from Gatundu, Shaweri?
Okay.
Is he? He's not another boy from Shaweri. This is a serious Kenyan. And certainly, if he supports somebody or a cause, that counts for a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But there are people who are not getting this right. They're saying, come on, why is it that at this point you are telling these young people to go out there, fight for themselves? And according to them, it's like the former president is inciting the young people.
No. Even last time he talked about young people, he mentioned the daughter Ngina. Join the rest and fight for your rights. That's just normal. Anybody, I keep saying it all the time. Uhuru should say it all the time. Ruto should say all the time, tell Shireen, this is your country. This country does not belong to William Ruto. This country belongs to Charlene Ruto, Ngina Kenyatta. That's what Uhuru is saying, and it's obvious. Does this country belong to me? No, it belongs to you. Yeah. So Uhuru is only pointing out the obvious. Yeah.
So how will we...
Because the young people in Africa, young men in Africa are sleeping when the big powers are exploiting Africa. When bad leadership is destroying Africa, they must wake up. The Gen Zs, the millennials must know this is their country. Across Africa, they must know that. And if Africa is going to be saved, then it's only they who can do it. And so who is just stating the obvious? Yeah.
If at all people are in a hole right now, and the former president is telling the young people that you are the only people who can actually save your country due to the numbers that the young people have in this nation. But there are certain people who actually feel that he was there, and he was at a position where he could have actually helped save the situation. Maybe for them, they think that President Uhuru Kenyatta would have directly made Raila the president, according to them, back then, and therefore people would not have found themselves in the kind of situation that they found himself in short, they're actually linking what the country is in right now to the former president, and therefore telling him that he should not actually be talking.
But let's just assume it was a mistake, or he didn't calculate well. Does that mean he cannot talk because he made mistakes? If he didn't calculate well and Raila didn't become president, that doesn't mean he can't talk about things in this country. No, it doesn't mean that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's possible he made a mistake, he miscalculated. But he can still talk about the situation in the country.
Okay. What do you make of those who feel that by making such kind of sentiments, the former president is actually sabotaging the current president?
Well, if to speak on things will be considered as sabotage, that will be very sorry. That will be a very bad thing, because so somebody can't speak. We know the sort of things Uhuru will do that would point to sabotage, sort of actions, activities. We know the sort of utterances he would make to sabotage the government. What he has said is not one of those things.
So he's not sabotaging?
No.
Is he undermining the presidency?
There's so much within his power to do to sabotage this system. Yeah. Okay. He hasn't done any of that. Yeah.
Are you seeing a direct intention of the former president to actually become a kingmaker in the next general elections?
I wouldn't be surprised if Uhuru wants to decide who becomes president in 2027 or be part of the decision-making team. I wouldn't be surprised, and there'll be nothing wrong with that. What would be bad is if he went about it in a manner that would compromise his stature as a statesman and as a former president.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how then should he approach it, in that he still plays his democratic role as a normal citizen of this country, at the same time does not compromise?
Expressing yourself, Obama expressed his support for, who was that, Biden, twice. There's nothing wrong with that. But you see, in this country, you can make politics very volatile. If, for example, Uhuru were to attend political rallies, in Kamukunji and where, that will be very dangerous for the country. Yeah. The crowds will be very charged emotionally, and that will be very serious. But you have to say, I'm supporting Matiang'i, or I support Kalonzo. That's normal. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And behind the scenes, try to organize, do resource mobilization for them, use his networks to help them, introduce Matiang'i or Kalonzo or whoever it is to his international friends. That's quite acceptable.
Then what is not acceptable?
Pardon?
What is not acceptable? You've just talked
I've told you, if
just
he goes,
attending- okay.
if he goes the Kenyan way
Okay.
of mobilizing, physically mobilizing the crowds, that will be a little dangerous, and it will soil his name as a statesman.
So even during the next elections campaigns, we do not expect to see the former president actually on top of vehicles
No,
with the
no,
rest.
no. That will be lowering his stature badly. He should not go in that direction. Yes.
Then how would he then talk to the people? Because at that time, I think it's about talking to the people directly. If at all is
Not
because
campaigning.
You've just told me here that maybe it was a mistake that he made.
Yeah.
Then how would he come out and tell the people, look, we made a mistake back then?
But
We have a
speaking,
chance
there
to
are
correct
many
it."
forums, there are many ways of speaking. What I'm saying, the direct campaigning, yeah, and you have explained what he should not do. Yeah.
Finally, how possible will this be? That at the end of the day, we expect a successful bid from whichever candidate who the former president would actually support. What difference will it make, owing to the fact that, remember, last time, of course, he supported the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and Raila failed.
Circumstances are never always the same. Things keep changing.
So what
The
has
same
changed-
people who are so excited about Ruto are the same people you can see all over, very annoyed.
what has changed this time round that makes the ground a little bit better for the former president that was not there when he was actually in office?
Politics is like that. Sometimes somebody is very popular. Next time they are not popular. People thought Uhuru was a demon. Now they have had time to see. And many of the people, especially in his home region of Mount Kenya, they realized they were not right about him and about the things he had been saying. So that's very good for him.
So what was Uhuru's mistake at that time?
You cannot call it a mistake. It's just strategy. I think they were not well organized. They were not organized. Uhuru did not, for your information, run Raila's campaign. No, he did not. He supported Raila's campaign without being part of the management of that campaign. If a bit of the efficiency from Jubilee had been infused into Azimio, we could be talking another story, because Raila's problem has always been lack of a structured campaign. And everything depends on an individual, Raila Odinga. A powerful individual, yes. Serious mobilizer, but an election goes beyond that. An election requires clear structures, which is always absent in the Raila campaign.
What was the role of the former governor for Laikipia County in that particular?
He was supposed to be the chairman of the campaign board, which never really took off.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it working.
So
I was
you're saying
around,
that-
I didn't see it.
You're saying that he did not actually chair the campaign of
Nothing took off. Yeah, it didn't work.
Okay.
I think that was the Uhuru side bringing an attempt to formalize Raila's campaign and have it be a structured campaign. But I think it didn't work because Raila likes doing his things in his own ways. Yeah.
So what is it that you're seeing that is actually different right now, that has changed, that would therefore enable former President Uhuru Kenyatta now to actually...
No,
go ahead?
nothing. No campaign has started. You cannot talk about a campaign that hasn't started. Whether they have not even decided on the presidential
You've told me
candidate.
things change. And the fact that he failed last time doesn't mean that he's going to fail this time.
I'm
No.
saying the politics of the country, the way things are moving, the country has changed. Okay? The wind was blowing in favor of Ruto last time. In fact, you must give Raila credit for coming from behind to overtake Ruto. For those of us who believe he won the election. albeit narrowly. But now things are a little different. It is now like they have flipped. The wind seems to be blowing against Ruto. So that is the politics as of now. What you're asking me what Uhuru will do, we can only wait until they have a candidate, and then we can see the kind of campaign strategy they have put in place. And then compare that strategy to the one that was there in 2022. So far, there is no candidate. There is therefore no strategy.
Okay.
So we can't comment on that. Yeah.
Okay, but then as we look, even with his support, then that would mean that whoever candidate he decides to support, of course, that is his democratic right, and we cannot deny him that. Whoever candidate he decides to support must definitely enjoy the support from him, and this support is in terms of votes, definitely,
Yes, yes.
from the central Kenya region,
yes,
or the larger mountain region.
It will count for almost everything.
Yes.
Yes.
And that time, his people did not listen to him.
Yes.
At least a number.
Yes.
Majority went the other way and
Correct.
rallied behind President William Ruto. Do you think he's done enough to actually explain to them that, look...
There is nothing to be done. Ruto has done it for them. Yeah.
Okay.
By impeaching Gachagua, Ruto did whatever job Uhuru needed to do if he wanted to turn the mountain against him. So there's no job for Uhuru to do. Ruto has done it for them. Yeah.
So looking at the traditional way in which Kenyan politics has been played this time round, it's possible that the former president can actually tell them, look, let's go this particular direction. And they will actually...
Yeah, yeah. As we speak now, yes. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's wait and see what is in store for the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, who is actually seen to be angling to be one of the kingmakers in 2027 general elections. By the way, is it 2027 or 2026?
2027.
You're differing with Willis on this, whether it's 2026 or 2027. But ladies and gentlemen, until we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. Meanwhile, you can weigh in and tell us what you actually think. My name is Evans Okinyi.